Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry I haven't given y'all a video in about a week or so. To be honest with you, sometimes I just don't like the way I look on camera. Sometimes, no matter how many times or how many takes I do, I be like, God dang it, I look like a troll. And maybe it's because I'm getting older, or maybe it's because I've always been that way. I've always been pretty self-conscious or vain about the way that I look. So with this current revolution, I call it a revolution, of young men coming out and saying, oh, I'm gonna focus on the way I look because it'll get me X, Y, and Z. I understand where they're coming from. I understand why a lot of men can be insecure about their looks, because traditionally men are told not to care about their looks, but everybody cares about the way that they look. Everybody does, because you know that if you look a certain way, if you look good, you're going to be treated a certain way. You're going to be treated well, you're going to be treated better. It's just the way of life. It's unfortunate. It is the way it is. Somebody made a good analogy. They say women don't want good looking men, they want this and that. I'm like, no, women want good looking men, plus they want money and all this other stuff too. Somebody said, you don't go out looking for trolls, and neither do the women. They want some eye candy too. So you keep that in mind as a young man, especially one that's growing up in today's social media climate, and you feel like, damn, I don't measure up. I need to grow just a couple more inches in order to be able to compete with my contemporaries, to be able to compete with the guys on the football team that I see going on all these dates and all that other stuff. What can I do to improve myself? So you start getting to looks maxing content. I'm telling you, at first, when back in the day, they were telling you, just go to the gym, get some muscles and all this, but nah, it ain't that simple now. Now you gotta take supplements, and I'm not talking about legal off the counter supplements. I'm talking about illicit supplements, and we're gonna get into that, okay? In order to keep up with the Joneses. And for you people that are my age, in your 40s, 50s, this may sound crazy to you, but right now, young men are really, how can I put it? They got a lot of body dysmorphia going on, okay? You'll see a lot of this gym content of people saying that they're doing it for their health, and then they're taking tren, they're taking all these different testosterones, they're taking all these different peptides and shit. And I'm talking about at a young age, at a young, dangerous age. And that's an issue that a lot of people don't want to talk about, and that goes to body dysmorphia. Why? Because maybe they feel like they don't look that good, they don't look up to par. I feel like that all the time. Now I'm constantly working out, I'm constantly in my 40s, I'm constantly being flirted with by women or giving compliments. It's never shortage of that for me. So when men say, oh, I don't get compliments from women and all that, I get it all the goddamn time, but that still don't fill the void that I feel in myself when I look in the mirror, or the insecurities that I have about myself when I look in the mirror, about my teeth or about my hairline. Y'all always see me in here with the hat and all that. Look at that shit. But these things are serious, and I felt like I'd have to really come out here and make this video today, because y'all know there's a young man that's getting a lot of attention in media right now named Clavicular. This is a young white man who rose to stardom on social media by talking about looks maxing. Looks maxing being maximizing the way that you look as a man. And how did he get popular? Well, he talked about his regimen. You saw this young man go from this pudgy face dweeb to this almost, you know, statuesque looking. To me, he just like an average white dude, but apparently he's the bee's knees, okay? And all of these young men, especially white and other young men, I'm gonna say, because black men, our standards are a little bit different, okay? But we're just talking about this overall trend that's going on. This man, he took a hammer, okay, in order to chisel his face to get rid of that baby face look, and started giving himself micro fractures with the hammer in his face, okay? And that way he can shape his cheekbones to look a certain way, so he can mog all the competition. Mogging in their terms being, you know, you got one up on somebody. Mogging, on, according to him, don't just have to do with looks. It can be with money, it could be with status, it could be with all kinds of stuff. These kids are weird. I'm just keeping up with the Joneses, and for some reason I know all this stuff. Unfortunately, this young man yesterday, or the day before yesterday, whenever, he had a seizure and an overdose. And because one of his things, besides giving himself micro fractures in the face, well, he takes Adderall, he takes methamphetamines openly. This is a young man that talked about openly taking meth and bumping meth in order to keep a certain leanness and a certain level of energy so he can keep up with the Joneses. I kid you not. And when young men are watching this, they're like, oh, well, maybe I can give me some meth too. It just, you know, I can look smacks, okay? I want to show y'all something right. I want to show y'all something real quick. There's a blimp. There's the blimp. I don't know if y'all see the blimp. Y'all see the blimp? Ah, Vegas is dope. That's the Goodyear blimp. I actually saw it on my way home. Hope the sun ain't in y'all too much. But anyway, these young men are like, okay, I could take some meth or some, I'll say math from here on in, because I don't want to promote that shit. And I'll be okay. But I want to use this video as an opportunity to tell y'all a story I've never told y'all before, not openly, because I didn't want to put my friend on blast. But since I had to endure what he had me endure, I just want to show y'all that blimp behind me. Since I had to endure what he put me through, I want to talk about my friend, okay? We'll call him Mike for this video, because I don't want to completely put him on blast. Mike was one of my friends that I met when I worked at Blockbuster Video. I was the manager there. Mike was one of the employees there, and a lot of people didn't necessarily like Mike, okay? They didn't like Mike. They didn't like Mike because Mike was sarcastic. Mike didn't take no shit. But Mike was funny as hell to me. And me and Mike had a lot in common, okay? We both liked the same games. We both had a small family. I had a baby on the way. He had 2 kids. So I had like my oldest son, and I had a baby on the way. He had 2 kids, so we practically had 2 kids. It was a lot going on that we had in common. So of course our families would get together. We would have barbecues. I don't know if y'all remember Rock Band, the game Rock Band, but we would play Rock Band in his house with him and his wife. His wife could cook like a motherfucker. His wife got along with my girl, my wife or whatever, and it was great, okay? And we had this relationship going on for a minute, and even after Blockbuster shut down, our friendship remained. He's the only person that I had as a friend from work, like a legitimate friend, okay? So years go by, and at some point his girls get big, and you know, maybe we had fell out of touch because I had moved down to the valley with my family. He was still up in where we were with his family, but eventually we moved back. And he was like, hey, come through to the house and we can smoke and play and all this other stuff. So I did. So I got back in touch with Mike, him and his family, his wife and everything. I would go over there, we would have LAN parties, and it was good. At some point, Mike met a young lady at a PTA meeting named Lisa. We just call her Lisa. Mike and Lisa. Mike had a wife, take in mind. Mike's wife was awesome, but Mike and his wife met Lisa and her husband at a PTA meeting or something like that, right? And at some point, while Mike was going to pick up his girls from school, him and Lisa come into contact with each other, and they start having a back and forth. I guess she had her toes painted, she was looking on point, and she was enticing him, and at some point they started fooling around a little bit, right? Well, at a juncture, Mike's wife confronted him, she confronted me, and was like, look, is my husband cheating on me? And me being put in that position, because he purposely invited me over his house to be there to run interference, and I didn't know that's what he was doing at the time. So he can go see this girl, and she confronted me, was like, is my husband cheating on me or whatever? I lied to her. I'm not necessarily proud about that, but he was hella cheating on her, okay? So eventually they got a divorce, all this other stuff transpired. His wife moved on, she left the state, and Mike ended up with Lisa. So Mike ended up in a small, like, apartment, and he was working at a fast food restaurant or whatever. And at some point he was stressed out, and Lisa came over there, and she brought him some of that some of that methamphetamine. So Mike took some, and Mike ended up in the hospital. It was too much. He hadn't taken some in a while, and that go fast made him go way too fast. He ended up in the hospital, okay? That's what happened to Mike. But Mike got addicted to it, and so did Lisa, all right? Now, Mike is a very attractive young man. He ain't young no more, he's my age. But he was a very attractive young man, and Lisa was a very beautiful mom, okay? Mike started fucking Lisa and all this other stuff. They got addicted to each other, but they also got addicted to meth. And in a short time, they both lost themselves so much. They lost access to their kids. They lost access to housing. They were living out of her car for years upon years, chasing a high. You understand? And for what? I visited them living in parking lots like this. I have, like, visited them, went and smoked with Mike, literally while their whole setup was in a parking lot like this. Mike has come and crashed in our driveway and all that other stuff because he was addicted to drugs. He was addicted to drugs. And I know this don't have anything to do with looks, But his looks and her looks deteriorated to the point where they were looking cracked out, that they looked obviously like users. They looked fucked up, okay? Whereas she was like a sexy young mom, like I said, she became something that you wouldn't want to touch with a 10-foot pole, I swear to God. Where he was a handsome man that got all these stares and got all these looks from women before, now he's missing teeth and all that kind of other stuff because that shit is not good for you, okay? So when you have influencers like Clavicular getting on here promoting that, I have a problem with it, because they're playing into the insecurities that young men have. They see that there's a market for insecure, lonely young men, right, who are looking for a way to change their lifestyle the easiest, most direct way, without having to go through years and years of training, years and years of shaping their bodies and their personalities. No, they want to go straight to what's fast. Look at that blimp. It's all the way back there now. Y'all see it? That's what they want to do, right? The easy way. And I get it. That's what young people do. That's, I mean, you want the path. You want, like, especially like you, a young man, you want to get you some butt, right? That's why I started caring about my looks like as much as I did in school, because at first I didn't give a fuck. But the moment I started getting a little bit of muscles on me and I started to see how girls and women reacted to me, oh, I was addicted to it, okay? Yeah, you want that attention, I get it. And if you've never had it and you seeing everybody else to get it around you, and some, you know, influencer with, I guess a little bit of a charm, because he does have a little bit of a charm about him. I think he's a bit autistic, but it plays into his charm. Talking about this Clavicular kid. You have this influencer to come there, he has a little bit of a charm. You're seeing that he's getting results. Every other night, he's out with all these different broads, you feel me? He's out at the club, he's out doing the stuff, he's out living a life where you lonely, where you can't get hoes and all that other stuff, but it's working for him. So maybe I'll do meth. Maybe I'll do methamphetamine. Maybe I'll do some methamphetamines. No, don't do that. Train. Work hard at what you're doing. Eat right. You know what I'm saying? Stop. Don't drink alcohol to excess. I mean, I'm telling you, this is the I don't know if it's the pot calling the kettle black or however you would say that, but I do have my vices. I'm not gonna sit up here and fuck with you. That's why I'm missing a good portion of my teeth, and then because I'm over here smoking methamphetamines, it's because I like my energy drinks. You understand what I'm saying? I've been got rid of this goddamn muffin top and all this other shit if I just got rid of the sugar and all that other stuff. But those are all my insecurities. Those are all my insecurities. Like I said, I'm constantly been told, oh, your body looks great. You know, it's an old lady that I work with. It's an old lady, but I'll take compliments where I take it. Your legs, you have some amazing looking legs. I love looking at your legs. I'm like, all right, I hope you don't find that weird. Nah, I don't find it weird. Sexually harass me, I'll take it. But yeah, man, that's what's going on. That's what's going on. Hey, it's always going on, I'm telling you. Sometimes I'll edit these videos together. I like doing these videos because I never have to really look at myself. I just look right into the lens and I upload it, and it's just direct and all that. But yeah, man, if you're a young man and you feel like, oh man, I'm ugly, you probably are. Let's just be honest, we are ugly. We made to be ugly, you know what I'm saying? But do the little things, work on the little things, you know, for yourself that will make you feel confident, that will make you walk with your head up, with your head held high and your chest poked out. You understand what I'm saying? Even if that's the accessories, you know, if you have to add jewelry to your repertoire, if you have to add the fancy clothes to your repertoire, you have to flaunt the car, whatever you got to do, bro. It ain't nothing wrong. We all got our insecurities. I'm just trying to say, they try to make men's insecurities and our shit like it's weird or something, but it's not, bro. Women got the luxury of wearing makeup, putting on some makeup, hiding blemishes, hiding this and that. Men, we go to extremes, and you have young man telling another young man that they should be doing meth. I'm telling you, meth is not the way to go. Meth, drugs, and even I'm seeing more and more people talking about testosterone, taking testosterone young. Bro, that shit fucks you up. If you start taking testosterone in your formative years when you're developing, when you're supposed to be, you know, where you're supposed to be naturally having this testosterone, and you taking that shit, by the time you my age, you not gonna be able to produce that shit naturally, bro. You know how much that shit costs over time just trying to keep up with your testosterone? Because you started taking testosterone when you didn't need it at 15, right? And now you have to, in order to keep up with your natural testosterone, you have to take all these supplements for the rest of your life? No. And people are promoting this, oh hell, it ain't gonna hurt you. It may not gonna be able to hurt you right now, but in the long run, you don't wanna throw your shit off balance if you don't have to. You feel me? Like, I think like taking testosterone for young men is the equivalent of like, you know, birth control for women in a way. And I'm not saying that birth control is always bad, but you ladies know it fucks with your hormones and stuff. It fucks with your body composition, all that. And it's the same thing with testosterone. Yes, it's gonna do it in a positive way right now, but like I said, if you can't produce your own testosterone and all that other stuff, by the time you my age, you're gonna be having, you know, titties. I mean, I'm telling you, it's already hard my age to build muscle. That's why I'm constantly trying to put muscle on me, man. I'm telling you, it's either it used to be I can sit here, I can work out a little bit, I can eat whatever the fuck I want, it wouldn't turn into all this fucking mush and all that, but hey, it is what it is. But I'm telling y'all, the extremes are not it. The extremes are not it. The overindulging in supplements, the taking well, they're not called steroids, but I should say what do you call it, anabolic drugs and the fucking body enhancements and all that. That shit ain't it. That shit throws your real shit off completely, okay? And definitely taking meth will have you fucked up. This young man just OD'd, okay? Y'all gotta honestly keep that in mind. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the view of Las Vegas here. It is a gorgeous valley. It really is. They have a tower coming out in Henderson and I can't wait to see. 2 towers, actually. They're actually apartment buildings and they're gonna stand over the valley a little bit and they're gonna be cool to see. I don't know why I mentioned that. That's not relevant here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and subscribe to all my supporters that have been here since day one. I appreciate y'all continuing to stick with me and listening to my ramblings. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen.